You scroll through hundreds of job descriptions, but they all sound the same. You spend so much time on every application, but it doesn't seem to matter. You send off application after application, but never hear back. You thought the interview went so well, but it's a no. You jump through all the hoops. The news keeps saying how there are all these employers that are struggling to find people to hire. So why does finding a great job have to be so hard? It doesn't seem very logical or fair. It's not. The system is broken. It's not your fault. The process most people go through to get a job is awful. But here's the good news. The system isn't very smart. In fact, it's downright dumb. It can be beaten. How? Most prospective employers and employees today are using the same old tired strategies that have been around forever. It's like professional camouflage. Everybody just blends into the crowd. But you don't have to be that way anymore. You can get traction. You can stand out from the crowd to unleash your God-given potential, to help a world in need, to do work that matters, to earn what you and your family deserve. You can do this. You're meant to do this. There are bright things on the horizon for you. This is the way. Welcome to the workshop. Get hired fast without settling, getting ignored, or losing hope. My name is Eric Woodard. I'm a high-performance career and leadership coach based out of Washington, D.C. And if you're here on this Tuesday afternoon, morning, depends where you are, just want to acknowledge you for being here. I know how valuable your time is. And the fact that you're even here tells me that you're somebody who takes your career really seriously and you're wanting to get this job thing handled. So that's what we're going to do today. And look, if you are watching the replay, you are pretty cool also. Want to acknowledge you, and you're not quite as cool as the over 100 people who are watching this right now. So just really acknowledge you. And I see with Tasha and Jason and Jake and Corey and Lawrence and Scott, if you would put in the chat where you're from and how long you've been on the job search, because I'd like to know because we're going to get started here today to try and get this sorted out. Because, sometimes folks being on a job search can feel a lot like pounding sand. Not fun, right? Hi there, Itai and Austin. Sometimes it can feel like you're waiting on a glacier. Alan in Virginia, a few months. I see you there. Hi, Cobb in Arkansas and Corey. I see you there. Hey, Akos in Hungary, right? Peter in Seattle, 6 months. I got you, Peter. Melissa, 8 months in New York City. I got you there, Melissa. Tiffany in Omaha, just starting. Hang in there, Tiffany. Dave in Fort Worth, 9 months. Sometimes it can feel like wandering through the desert. Hey there, C. Fox in Dallas. It's been a while for you, right? Hey there, Jake in Dublin. Gretchen in Mesa, right? Sometimes it can feel like wandering into an arena to go to battle, right? Venice in Denver. Munica, right? I see you there. We got Zahin in New York. Oliver. Annie in Vegas. It's been a while for you, Annie. Hi, Ivan in Arkansas. Sometimes it can feel like looking into an abyss, Jamie in Fort Worth. Sometimes it's just not very fun. So look, who is this for? If you are unsure about the direction you want your career to go, if you've been struggling to find ways to describe what you do, hi there, Swati in New York. If you're uncertain if your resume is any good, if you've been wrestling with how to follow up after you apply, if you're tired of applying and then hearing nothing back, if you've been doing interviews that seem to go great and then you get the big fat no and it just keeps happening over and over, I really see you. If you're trapped in a job you don't like and you're just not sure how you can escape, hey there, Lucy in Arlington, right? Like, and especially if you're losing hope, this is a workshop for you. On the other hand, if you're somebody who's just kind of super casual about your career, not willing to do the work, reluctant to take responsibility for the results you've been getting, just interested in finding a job to make money, sort of stuck in your ways, and you already know all the reasons you're not finding a job. If you're unwilling to be authentic, hey there, David, right, in Seattle, then this workshop may not be for you, because what you're going to learn today is how to get fast without settling, get ignored, or losing hope. I'm going to give you 4 specific strategies and 9 tactics that you can use to elevate your job search so that you can do work that matters and pays what your family deserves. Sound good? Hey there, Lanny in Chicago. So our agenda for today, I'm just going to briefly tell you where I'm coming from. A lot of you may know who I am, and a lot of you probably don't. You're like, who the hell is this guy? I hear you. Like, I'm just going to tell you where I'm coming from. Again, 4 strategies, 9 tactics. I've got an invitation for you, right? So some of you I know have signed up for this call because you've either had friends or family that have worked with us and got hired real damn fast. So if you already know you want to talk to us about our program, we got Jessa and Jelly helping us today. They already put a link in the chat to book a call. 3 requirements to book a call. 1, you're at least open to the idea of like getting started quick. 2, you're not going to like book a call and then change it and ghost us, because my team's not that big, folks. Like, don't do that to us. And 3, you're at least open to the idea of making an investment. And 4, you're like wanting to get some coaching, right? You're wanting to get some coaching. So something just happened to my screen here. I guess it's okay. Something strange happened. I guess everybody's still with me. Okay, so we're gonna get started right away. And that's the screen to book a call. Let me just see. Okay, that's a little bit better, but sorry guys, I'm having a little bit of technical stuff going on. Okay, now things are better. Phew, that was a little scary. Okay, so that's the link to book a call. So that's how that works. So if that's already something you know you want to do, let me know. And then we're gonna have time for questions. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. So who is this guy and why does he think he can help me find a job? Well, I don't know if I can help you find a job. That's why I'm suggesting you guys book a call, because we'll find out. And just to give you a little bit about me, I grew up overseas, came to the States when I was 17 or 18, wound up transferring college 7 times. I wound up really lost, right? Not sure about my career, was like the most lost soul possible. This was many years ago. I wound up as a scuba instructor on the island of Guam, where I spent about 10,000 hours underwater swimming around with the fish. And that was pretty good. But my brain got a little spongy after doing that for a while. So I thought, I got to really pull it together here, folks. And I thought, what would be the most prestigious job I could find? And I thought, well, that must be something like the White House. So I took out a piece of paper and wrote a cover letter to the president. It was like, dear Mr. President, you should hire me. And I mailed that to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And I'm like, I'm never hearing back from those guys. But about a month later, I was going past the Guam post office. The guy came out and he's like, Eric, you got a letter. And I opened it up and it was on White House, this fancy White House stationery. I opened up. It was an internship application. I didn't know what the hell an internship was, but I was really good at filling out applications because I transferred college so many times. So I filled that out, sent it in, and I'm like, I am never hearing back about that. But at least I had that cool envelope. I thought that was pretty cool. But that got me a little inspired. I applied to some grad schools. I wound up getting into GW here in DC, and I sort of landed with this big bushy haircut and was like dumpster diving for furniture. Bought a pair of running shoes, was out running along the National Mall one day, and I said, there's the White House. Those White House bastards, they never even bothered to let me know about that internship thing. What's up with that? So I found a payphone, put in a quarter, called them up. Said, hey, what's going on about that internship thing? They're like, is this Eric from Guam? I'm like, yeah. They're like, man, we've been trying to get in touch with you. You're supposed to start in the First Lady's office on Monday. So I said, well, that's interesting. So I went and got a haircut, bought a suit, and I showed up. Now, look, folks, I know we got a little political craziness going on in our country right now. I don't know if my politics match yours. Please forgive me if they don't. This tells you how old I am. This was back during the Clinton administration. I went to work for Hillary Rodham Clinton. She was a great boss. Right? Wound up on her staff. After internship ended, wind up on her staff, followed her to the U.S. Senate, where we represented the great state of New York, and then followed her to the U.S. State Department, where I did a bunch of UNESCO stuff. Eventually left Hillary Land, wound up as director of fellowships and internships at the Smithsonian Institution, where I just saw every industry and career and, level you could ever find. Eventually left there, start my own coaching practice, right? Do a lot of speaking, do a lot of coaching, written a lot of books, have an absurd number of certifications, because what I see at every level, early professionals, mid-career professionals, senior professionals, is people running into the same thing over and over, where they're trying to figure out this job search stuff and it's just not working, right? So now I coach, right? Help a lot of people get hired, glowing testimonials, and you don't care about any of that. Because what you care about is, can I help you? Hey there, Chi in Boston. Hey there, Christopher in South Florida. Kanan in Virginia. Hi, Rebecca in New York City. What you care about is, can I help you? I don't know. Probably, maybe. I've helped a lot of people. Let's find out. Okay, so here we go. 4 strategies that you can use to elevate your job search today. Here we go. Make sure you're writing some stuff down there. Alexandra in Boulder and Joseph in Seattle. All right. What's a good resume about? If you would, put it in the chat. I like to give away things too to people that get answers right. What's a good resume about? Put it in the chat if you would, please. And let's see if anybody gets this right. Hi there, Anastasia in New York City, right? Let's see if anybody gets this right. What's a good resume about? Put it in the chat. S'il vous plaît. So Neil says a good headline, right? Lane says marketing your skills. Christopher says accomplishments. Corey says your professional journey. Quantifiable accomplishments, says Angela, right? Aaron says who you are. Okay, your impact. He says experience. I have not yet seen the right answer. Nobody's got it right yet that I've seen. Telling your employer how your experiences put what they're looking for. Mitchell, it's close, right? But that is not the right answer. Showing you're a good fit for the job. Nope. All these answers are incorrect. Okay, your value. Nope. Sorry, Paula. Convincing them. Nope, it's not about convincing. No, Jeffrey, I like your story, and that's still incorrect. It's not the main reason why they should hire you. Nope. What you can offer. Nope. It's close, Lanny, because here's what a lot of you are talking about. You're talking about you. Here's what I can bring to you, or just like, let me sell myself, or how it fits the job description. That's not what a good resume is about. A good resume is about them. You want to be influential with another human being, another person or organization. The first thing you're going to want to talk about is them. My friends, if you get nothing else from this workshop, get this, right? And Dave, I see it's not about the value you can provide for the company. It's what's possible for the company. See, a lot of people fail in this distinction. They're like, well, I want to tell them how I can help them. Nope. It's what's possible for them. You take the you out of it and you make it about them. So this is strategy number one. Make it about them. So many job seekers proceed and they're like, let me tell you about me. Let me sell myself. Let me have one of those professional summaries that tells you all about me. Stop. It's not working, and it won't work because it's all about you, right? The opportunity is to make it about them, because employers are focused on, guess who they're focused on? Them. So if you walk in there and you start talking about yourself, they're like, well, I'm thinking about me. So you might as well talk about them. Right? There's a thought polarity going on here. This is incredibly effective. You probably haven't heard this other places. I'm not surprised. Okay. This stuff is different. You want to make the application about them. And when I say the application, I'm talking about your resume, your cover letter, your follow-up, your networking, your interview, even how you handle the offer. It's all about them. And it's no wonder that very often we think that job searching is about us, because probably the first time we ever job search was coming out of school. And in school, it is about us. It's our cubby. It's our worksheet. It's our desk. It's our transcript. It's our diploma. All of it. Our yearbook photo. And yet when we move to the working world, seasoned professionals know it's not about us. It's about them, the customer, the constituent, the client. It's all about them. So make your job search about them. Watch miracles happen. Okay, I got another one for you here, folks. Let's say I went to a library and I found a shelf full of storybooks. And I looked at the front cover of those storybooks. On the front cover of those storybooks, there'd be some words. What do we call those words that we put on the front cover of a storybook? Thanks, Jessa and Jelly. What do we call those words on the front cover of a storybook? Who is going to get it right? Who is going to get it right? What are those words called on the front cover of a book? What do we call those words? Let's see. I think I've stumped you all. Right? Jake. Okay. So I see a bunch of people got it right. Let's see here if I can catch some of these first one. So Brian and Angela and Lane and Jake. Okay. Brian Donahue, Angela Darrow, Lane Crouch, and Jake Dorr. You got it right. And a lot of other people are getting it right. It's called a title. But those four that I mentioned, you guys are going to get a free course that I have. It's called How to Make Your LinkedIn Profile Awesome. Jess and Jelly, make sure we capture those four, because we're going to send you that free course to make your LinkedIn profile awesome. And that's right. It's called a title. That's exactly right, Doug and Ala and Watusha and Zahin and Diane. It's called a title. Now, isn't it interesting that's the same term we use to label people in the workplace? Paula, which tells me that just like we put a label on the cover of a storybook, we'll put the label on the story of somebody's career. And this brings us to stories. Let me ask you another question. I'm going to keep them coming. What percent of human decision-making do you think is emotional and what percent is logical? Put it in the chat. So is it like 50-50, 60-40, right? 40-60? What's the ratio of emotion to logic when it comes to human decision making. Let's see if anybody gets this right, because this relates specifically to stories. So Alexander says 70-30. Okay. Domingo says 80-20. Philip says 75-25. Oliver and Tiffany say it's 80-20, right? Nishran says 80-20. A lot of 80-20s. Keith says 80-20. I've not seen the right answer yet. Carolyn says 75, right? Tanya says 70. Roger says 90-10. Ooh, Timothy says 99%. Lauren says 50-50. I haven't seen the right answer yet. Okay, Annie says 95% emotional. I see you there, Annie. Cannon says it's 80-20. Nope. Philip says it's 99-1. Nope. You're all wrong. I haven't seen the right answer yet. Here's the thing. It's 100% emotional. It's 100% emotional, right? And the reason we know it's 100%, there, Lawrence BQ. I see you there, Lawrence. We're going to send you that course, and I see Victoria got it right with you. So Victoria Sheets and Lawrence BQ, we're going to send you that LinkedIn course because you're right. It's 100% emotional. And the reason we know it's 100% emotional is when somebody gets their limbic system damaged, they're fine, except they can't make a single decision. And that's the debilitating part, right? So people walk around saying, we make data-driven decisions. No, you don't. Hey, Cynthia M. booked a call. Nice job, Cynthia, right? Like, we make data-driven decisions. No, you don't. Nobody does. Decisions are very fast, right? Very fast. They're made almost instantaneously. And then we spend the rest of our time using facts and logic to justify those decisions we made originally, right? So when you guys got on this workshop, you very quickly decided whether you liked the way my face looked, my voice, right? My shirt, the workshop. It was very quick. And now you're just collecting information to find out if you can trust me. Employers do the same. So we don't want to spend a lot of time focused on the facts. Instead, the opportunity is to focus on stories, because as Maya Angelou told us, people are going to remember how we make them feel. And that's what stories do. So stop worrying so much about facts. Focus on stories. People remember stories way more than they do facts. Feelings. Our capacity for emotion is like, 40 million bits a second. And I think it's 20 million bits. And our capacity for logic is like 40 bits a second. It's orders of magnitude greater. So make your application a story. And if you're not doing this, you're really leaving a lot on the table. Okay. So for example, notice I'm about to tell a story. One time I was accepting applications for a program, and ton of applications, like buried in applications. And that this one person, Maggie, explained how the summer before she'd been in a terrible car accident and her arm had been severed. Well, that's quite a story. So I was like, well, we got to take Maggie, right? So before the day one, I was getting ready for her, thinking about what accommodations this one-armed woman would need. She walks in the first day, 2 arms. Now, it was bandaged from where it had been partially severed and reattached, and she was doing some physical therapy. Maggie was going to be okay. Was I upset that Maggie had 2 arms? Of course not. I was so happy, and I remember that story to this day because I remember how it made me feel. You can do the same in your job search. Okay, guys, I got another one for you. What's this guy's name? What's this guy called? I'll give you a hint. He lives in Idaho. What's this guy's name? What's this guy's name? He sometimes dabbles in politics. What's this guy called? Hey, Anastasia. That's right. Napoleon Dynamite. I see it. Anastasia got it right. We're going to give it to Neil Tuck too. He was number 2. This is Napoleon Dynamite. So Anastasia and Neil, we're going to send you that LinkedIn course, right? We're going to send you the LinkedIn course. Now, here's the thing about Napoleon. For those of you who haven't seen this fine piece of cinema, please make it a priority to go see it. And Napoleon's a high school kid. He sort of beats to his own drum. In this particular scene, he finds himself on stage in front of his entire student body audience, all the kids at his school. He's managed to get a cassette tape up to the sound booth, but it starts playing and he's on the hook to do some kind of performance that he has not planned for. So all of his school is looking at him. So Napoleon proceeds to do this crazy dance. I mean, it is wild. I mean, he metaphorically opens the kimono, my friends. And when he's done, he's sort of like panting and sweating. And the rest of his classmates are looking at him like this, and then they burst into applause. And the reason it works is because it's so authentic. Jamie Kern Lima, the founder of It Cosmetics, says everybody's a good dancer if they commit fully. Hey, Scott N., we look forward to talking to you, right? Nice job booking a call, right? Everybody's a good dancer if they commit fully. And she's right. And this brings us to strategy number 3, which is authenticity. People are going to hire you because of who you are, not in spite of it. Let me ask you a question. Who do humans hire? I'll answer it for you. Humans. Robots don't hire humans. Humans don't hire robots, and robots don't hire robots. Now, folks, I can hear the collective, but what about ATS? What about the algorithm? I hear you, and I'm a big fan of AI. I think it's miraculous. And at the end of the day, humans hire humans. Those of you who've been chasing your tail trying to please the ATS, how's that going? I already know. I'm sorry. People who've been talking about ATS and telling you all that, like, how useful is it? Those of you who've been hiding your age, how's that going? I already know. There's only one reason people will hire us, right? It's that they trust us. They're going to hire you because of who you are, not in spite of it. Okay. Now, look, guys, there's plenty of isms out there. Racism, sexism, ageism. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. And at the end of the day, people are going to hire you because they trust you. So it's a huge opportunity in your job search. Be more human, not less. In an increasingly automated world, the opportunity is to be more human. Let all your competitors chase their tails with ATS and hiding their age and all that stuff. You can do the opposite. This is how my clients get hired real damn fast. Okay. Humans hire humans. You want to be human, be relatable. You want to have evidence on your resume that you're a human. For example, one time I was working, notice I'm telling another story, by the way. One time I was working with Nina and I said, Nina, we were looking at her resume. I was like, Nina, what do you like to do for fun? And Nina sort of hemmed and hawed. She's like, well, I have a pen collection. Pens. I'm like, well, that's super weird. We got to put that on there. And she's like, oh no, I could never do that. So I finally got her to put it on there. A month later, I hear from her. She went into the interview. They talked about pens for 30 minutes and she got the offer. I have countless examples of this. We had a client last year she came up with this on her own. She put the bottom of her resume, 2 truths and a lie. She got 2 interviews and 2 offers just from that. And we know that because they told her. So now I put that on my resume. It's awesome, right? I've had people reach out to clients just to find out what the 2 truths and the lie are. People are infinitely bored, right? They've seen the same things over and over. So if you can bring your personality into it, game changing, right? Right. So Jane says, but then you have to ignore the ATS and you don't even get to humans. We're going to talk about that, Jane. Brittany A booked a call. Nice job, Brittany A. Look forward to talking to you. Jane, yeah, we Jessa and Jelly starred you. We're going to get to your question, Jane. It's great. Okay. Authenticity is your superpower. That's 100% right. Okay, let's talk about Abe Lincoln here. Give me 6 hours to cut down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. And what this brings us to is the idea of systems. There's nothing wrong with you, my friends. There's nothing wrong with you at all. Right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the current results you're getting in your job search are perfectly attuned to your current system. And trust me, those of you who are like, I don't have a system. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Right? And so if you want to get different results than the results you've been getting, you're going to want to have a different system. Some people are using the system, well, I'm just going to work hard. Some people are using the system, well, I'm going to trick the ATS. Some people are using the system, I'm going to hide my age. Maybe you're getting results accordingly. And so the opportunity is to change the systems you've been using and you're going to get different results. Now, we don't know the exact system that's going to work for you because everybody's different, but we've helped enough people. We have pretty damn good idea what's going to work for you, right? The idea is you're going to want to increase the quality of your stuff first, and then you're going to want to rev up the quantity once you know that it works. You want to iterate. So look, folks, here's the system that a lot of you have been using. And I love you. And you're wondering, how come you've been job searching for so long? Well, I'll tell you, this is your system. And you've tried every setting imaginable, the sticky gear shift and the button. And you've done it all. God bless you. Here's what you don't know. This is the system that's available for you. So you could spend a lot of time and money trying to figure out how to make this system work, or maybe even figure out how to turn this system into this system, or we could just show you. We could just show you and you could save a lot of time and money, as a lot of my clients do. So how do you put this all to work? So guys, I'm going to talk about my program later. Some of you are like, I didn't sign up for this for hear about some guy's program. Okay, that's fine. I love you. But for those of you who are interested, I do have a program. We help people with this stuff. Like, it works really, really, really well. I don't even worry about explaining to people that it works because we have the receipts. The only question is, like, do you just want to keep what you've been doing? So if this is something you're interested in, again, the only requirements are you're not going to sign up for a call and ghost us. You're ready to get started, and you're at least open to the idea of investing in yourself. Look, you're trying to get somebody to hire you to pay you money, right? Like, yeah, we do the same here, right? So We charge a fee for our program, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But the thing about it is you're also going to get some coaching about, so even if you're not interested, you get some coaching about maybe what's wrong with your job search. So Deborah says, KISS. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I guess that's okay. Okay. Anyhow, let's talk 9 tactics. Here we go. Okay. So folks, if you haven't been, hey, Emily P, we look forward to talking to you. Okay. So if you haven't been paying attention during this presentation, I really want you to, keep it simple, silly. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay. Fair enough. I appreciate the assist there, Joseph and Anastasia. So let's say there's a lake, and then in the middle of the lake, someone's drowning. Okay. So somebody's in the middle of the lake drowning. Now that person's surrounded by boats. Okay. People in other little boats. So somebody's in the middle of the lake drowning and they're surrounded by other people in little boats. Here's the question. If that was a job search, metaphorically, who's the person drowning? Put it in the chat if you would, please. Right. And this is sometimes where I like to talk real fast because the people who are watching me on replay, they don't know what's happening. So I talk fast. Right? Everybody's explaining it to me, what keep it simple, stupid. So I'm the stupid one here. Okay. So who's the person drowning? Who's the person drowning in this situation? If this was a job search. So it's a resume drowning. So Leighton says, you are. Mary says, it's me. Griselle says, you. Domingo says, I haven't seen the right answer. Yeah, Monica, you and your family. I hear you. Jason. Jason Nago. I'm going to mispronounce your name. Jason got it right. We're going to give it to Annie C as well. We're going to give it to Joseph Mata as well. A lot of us are feeling that we're the one drowning. So those 3 people I named, you guys are going to get that free LinkedIn course, right? A lot of us feel like we're the one drowning. Nah, you're not drowning. You're the one in the boat. The one that's drowning is the employer. And the reason we know they're drowning, hey, Domingo, nice talking to you, man. We're going to look forward to talking to you, right? The reason we know they're drowning is they've told us. They put out a job description, say, help, we're drowning in work. You're the one in the boat. And yet a lot of people act as though they're the one drowning, right? In a job search. And I get why. You got bills, right? Your family's giving you a hard time. You know, it's scary. I understand why it feels like you're drowning, and it's just not accurate. The person that's drowning is the employer. So we want to act accordingly. Some of us are like, ooh, I'd be a really good person for you. Let me sell myself, right? If that was the person in the boat and we were drowning and somebody rode up and said, ooh, I'm the best one for you, you'd be like, well, I need help, but not from that guy, right? Because needy is creepy. So instead, we want to come from a place of service. And this brings us to tactic number 1, which is mindset. Get out of the business of saying, I hope they pick me, I'm the best. It's not effective. Instead, we want to ask questions like, what's possible for them? Right? We're going to talk a lot more about this mindset. Remember, you're not in danger, even though it feels like you are. It's old circuitry. It's your amygdala. It's your old mammalian brain telling you you're about to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. It's not real. Right? If you're watching this workshop, it's not real. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. You want to approach from a place of service. So we're going to talk a lot. Remember, folks, people don't want to be sold. Like we've gone over this historically. Selling people's weird, buying people's weirder. Don't do that. Right? Nobody wants to be sold. They want to be served. So we're going to talk more about this. All right. Here we go. Topic number 2. Some of you have seen this. Hey, Patrick, and we look forward to talking to you. Nice job, Patrick. So some of you have seen the show Deadliest Catch, right? Alaskan fishermen on the Bering Sea. They put these big steel cages on the bottom of the ocean floor with a little bit of bait, trying to catch some crab. And sure enough, Bob the crab comes along and says, aha, free lunch. And Bob goes in, start nibbling. Then Sally and Cheryl, all the crabs join. But eventually the bait's gone. So finally, one of the crab, he's like, I'm out of here, boys. Right? I'm out of here. But here's the interesting part. The other crabs will pull that crab back in. They'll even pull off one of their limbs. They'll even do a crab murder to keep that crab with the other crabs. Because instinctively, crabs like to be with other crabs. And of course, it's bad news for all those crabs because they all get pulled up and become dinner, which brings us to tactic number 2, which is environment. Some of you are like, well, I'm having trouble in my job search because I'm lazy or I'm procrastinating, or maybe I had a boss 3 jobs ago, or I don't know the right people, or it's age discrimination, or it's the market. Nah, it's your environment. Environment eats all that. Environment eats motivation for lunch. And most people don't even consider their environment. I'm talking about every aspect: physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, all of it, social, right? And so this is one of the main ways we help our clients get hired fast is we help them optimize their environment where they can. Now, sometimes look, you got family and they're saying things like, well, just settle Just settle. Well, that's because they love you and they're trying to keep you safe, right? And they don't want you to get hurt by yet another rejection, right? Or maybe they're scared and they want you to make some money because they're in all sorts of reasons. So the opportunity is to optimize your environment, safeguard it, be intentional. Some of you have heard the idea of reference groups, which means we're the average weight, income, whatever, of like the 5 people we hang out with the most. They don't even have to be alive. These can be people we see on TV, authors that lived 100 years ago. But we want to be really intentional about the environment we're creating for ourselves. It means everything. All right, guys. It's hard to hit. Hey, Andrew D, you booked a call. Nice job, Andrew. Look forward to talking to you, right? So it's hard to hit a blurry target. And this brings us to tactic number 3, vision. Some of you know the proverb, where there is no vision, the people perish. Exactly. Right? Sometimes I'll talk to potential job seekers and I'll be like, hey, how much money do you want to make? And they're like, anywhere between $50,000 and $150,000. I'm like, okay. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to help people. Single tier of Diet Coke. I'm like, that's beautiful. And it's really effing ambiguous, right? So we want to have clarity around what's possible for employers and our history of success creating those sorts of results. And a lot of people are really wishy-washy on their salary, occupation goals, but that clarity is vital. It's not optional, right? There's a reason race car drivers drive 500 miles in a circle. They don't look at the outer wall because their car will tend to go where they look. And if you don't have vision for where you're going and a system, you're just going to be like those race car drivers driving 500 miles in a circle. I mean, okay, it just doesn't sound very fun. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I got another one for you guys. Here we go. If I went to the store and I bought this, what would I be buying? Put it in the chat if you would, please. If I went to the store and I bought this thing, what would I be buying? Let's see if anybody gets it right. Because I feel like giving something away here, right? I feel like giving something away. So Josh says a drill. Okay. Peter says a drill without a battery. Yep. Brian says a screw gun. Scott says cordless drill. Right? Okay. Doug says a tool. I haven't seen the right answer yet. Right? Jake says a drill with no battery. Okay. Jamie says service. Hey, Jamie, I like that. I like what you said about service. Dave Parker got it right. Dave Parker got it right. So we're going to give that course to Dave Parker and Jamie Coleman. We're going to give it to both of you because Jamie, I like your answer. And Dave, you're right. We're buying a hole. Like nobody needs this sitting around their garage. I actually have this very thing sitting in my garage. I didn't buy it because I needed this sitting around my garage. What I actually bought it for is I needed a hole. And actually, I don't need a bunch of holes in my wall. Like that's weird. I don't need holes in what I actually need is a place to put the hook. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't even need a place to put the hook. I gash my arm open with all those hooks, right? What I actually need is a place to hang the photo. And actually, I don't even need that. What I want is the feeling I get when I look at the picture of my beautiful family that's hanging on the hook, that's in the hole that was made by the drill. And this brings us to safety. The opportunity is to give employers safety. Chris M. booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, Chris. Right? We want to give them safety. There's only one reason they will hire you. It's that they trust you. And the way we help people trust us is through our own vulnerability and also by making them feel safe. And this is why mindset's so important. If we feel like we're the ones drowning, it's hard for us to give away safety if we ourselves don't feel safe. And one of the things people in my program comment on is when they're in this program and they're with other job seekers and they have a coach, they feel safer, they get results. Okay. Keith B booked a call. Nice job, Keith. We look forward to talking to you. So what you want to get really clear on is what keeps them up at night when they're staring at the ceiling, trying to go to sleep. Do you see how this is so much more powerful than messing around with ATS and hiding your age? And maybe some of you have like, well, I only put the last 15 years of experience because some 25-year-old recruiter told me to take off the rest. I'm sorry that happened to you. Don't do that. Right? It's never the scandal. It's always the cover up. And when we cover stuff up, it makes other people feel not safe. So the opportunity is for us to be, the best Keith we can be, the best Louise we can be, the best Deborah we can be. That's the opportunity. And so many other people are doing the opposite. Good news for us. Good news. Good news. How can you make them feel seen, heard, and understood? You dial in on this, game over with your job search. Game over. Okay, guys, next tactic here, resumes. That's a picture of mine. So look, guys, resumes are like the least bad way. Hey, Amber R, we look forward to talking to you. Nice job, Amber. Are like the least bad form of thing we've come up with yet. And everybody uses them, right? So we're going to want to put together our resumes or cover letters or paper in a way that people cannot ignore. We don't want to follow best practices, right? Because that's another word for average. And look, as big of a fan as I am of AI, it's a large language model. Sometimes AI is best practices, average, what everybody else is doing. So you want to be careful with that, right? We want to approach employers in a way that they cannot ignore, that makes them feel seen, heard, and understood. And remember, how you communicate with whom, when, where, it all matters. Okay, it all really matters. For instance, I have hyperlinks in my resume. Do you have hyperlinks in yours? Little different, right? Are they actually going to click a hyperlink? I don't know, but at least it shows them that I know how to use technology. And by the way, those of you who have that big paragraph up top, I'm a seasoned executive with blah, 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 blah. They're going to skip right over that, because of those of you who have hired somebody knows that the first thing you're going to look at is their experience. And that's you telling them a bunch of stuff rather than showing them. And there's no context, right? In a court of law, what do they say? They don't say, what you doing? They say, where were you on the night of, time and place? Star Wars. It doesn't just say, well, here's a space movie, right? It says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Disney movies. Once upon a time in Never Neverland. Context. And those big paragraphs, they're meaningless because there's no context. And it's you telling them a bunch of stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Okay, so we want to do resumes in paper in a way they can't ignore. Okay, here's a good one, guys. And I feel like giving some more stuff away here. Hey, I'm so glad you're here too, John. I see you there, John. If a job application is submitted, but there is no follow-up, does it even make a sound? I would humbly suggest that it doesn't. And this brings us to the idea of follow-up. So some of you apply to jobs and you're like, well, shucks, I hope I hear back on that one. Follow up. Right? Follow up. Now, some of you are like, but Eric, they rarely have the contact info. Let's get that handled right now. Okay. I have a course. It's called How to Contact Anybody. I'm going to give it to all of you. So you will always be able to figure out how to contact anybody ever again. Hey, Jenny L. Nice to see you. You booked a call, right? So here's how you get this course. One, you're going to go to my LinkedIn profile. Okay, which we're going to put in the chat right now. We're going to go to my LinkedIn profile. There's the link. Okay, you're going to follow me. You're going to follow Coach Eric, right? We'll put it in the chat again for anybody who missed it. And then you're going to put you're going to message me through LinkedIn. You're going to put the word chicken. And if you message me the word chicken, I'll send you the course. Okay, so look, you want to follow up. And by the way, when you follow up, your follow-up is like, hey, I'm really interested in the job, or I think I'd be really good for you, or hey, let me ask you a really complicated question, or because that's all about me. We want to follow up in a way that's about them. This change alone helps a lot of my clients get hired like that, right? So you can do the same. You can do the same. Okay. Show them, not tell. Okay. So again, just as a reminder, go to my LinkedIn profile. You're going to follow me. You're going to message me the word chicken through LinkedIn. And I'll send you the course. How to contact anybody. All right. Okay. On to the next tactic. Here we go, guys. This is another really important one. Networking. Some of you have seen like the Academy Awards and the actor wins a big prize and she gets up there and she's like, thanks, everybody. I got nobody to thank. And all the movie stars are sort of like, no, it doesn't happen like that. She gets up there and I think this person and this person and this person, and this person. They're trying to drag her off stage. More people, more people. When we do great things, we don't do it alone. And yet some of you are wringing your hands over, oh, do I put open to work on my LinkedIn? I don't want people to know. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, Victoria, so sorry, Victoria's stuck. Here, Victoria. Jessa and Jelly, can you please put in the chat for Victoria the link to the call so she can get back in, if you would. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, poor Victoria. I hope we didn't lose you. So, and let's make sure we send Victoria both courses just to make up for that. Sorry, Victoria, if you're watching the replay. Okay, networking. Okay, networking. Some of you, if I said, well, how many people do you know in the world? You'd be like, well, I know a good number of people, Eric. I know a good number of people. And I'd be like, well, how many? And you'd be like, well, like 1,000. I'd be like, that's great. How many of those people know you're on the job search? Well, a good number. And I'd say, well, how do they know? Well, maybe a third of those people know it because I put it on my LinkedIn 6 months ago when I first started job searching. And so I'd be like, so those people, those 300 would have had to gone to your LinkedIn on that day, seen your post and remembered it for these last 3 months. And now you'd be getting a little nervous, right? And some of you are like, well, I follow up and I'd be like, when was the last time you followed up with that person? Oh, 3 months ago, right? You want to have a system for following up. You want to filter the ocean. And by the way, asking for help makes you look strong, not weak. Truly. And it's also a gift we give people because when we ask for help, they know that we wouldn't have asked for it unless we thought their help was worth asking for. It's a gift. It relates to this thing called the Franklin principle, as in Benjamin Franklin, who said, if you want to make a friend, don't, hey, Campbell S., you booked a call. Nice job, Campbell, right? If you want to make a friend, don't do them a favor, ask them for help. Because when we do that, now they have an investment in you. Do you think I'm going to care more or less about the people on this call getting jobs than I did an hour ago? More, because I have an investment in you. You came to my workshop, right? Ask for help. It makes you look strong, not weak. The reason they're going to hire you is because they trust you. And as Brene Brown has taught us, trust is built through vulnerability. And you're going to want to have a system, right? If you know 100 people trying to send messages every day is no good, you're going to want to have a system for this that's sustainable and consistent. Because doing this as one-offs is sort of like going fishing and getting the right bait on the right fish at the right depth at the right time. I mean, it might work and good luck with that. We want to filter the ocean because we don't know where the fish are, right? And the minute we start thinking we do know, we're going to be wrong. So that's how you get hired fast. All right, guys, topic number 8, interviews. Are you ready for the best interview advice in the world? I'm about to give it to you. Here we go. Are you prepared for the best interview advice in the world? Hey, Michael N., you just booked a call. Nice job, Michael. Right, here it is. Please be prepared for the advice I'm about to deliver. Here it is for interviews. I'm prepared. Don't answer their questions. Ty's like, yes, damn it. Give us the, right? Don't answer their questions. A lot of people, when they go into interviews, are like, oh, I hope I get the answer right now. Look, if it's like a technical interview where 1 + 1 = 2, sure. Yeah, give them the right answer. But other than that, 1 + 1 does not equal to an interview because really the only, hey, Josh, nice job. Answer with a story. Good job, Josh. Right? I like what you said about be yourself, Josh. Good. Let's make sure we give Josh that course about how to make his LinkedIn profile awesome. I like those answers, Josh. Josh Meekum, you're getting that LinkedIn course. Okay? Because when we go into an interview, what they're really only asking one question. And that question is this: can I trust you? You're so welcome, Josh, right? Like, that's the only question they're really asking. Can I trust you? But they can't ask that question because of society. So they ask questions like, tell me about your greatest professional achievement, or tell me about a time you made a mistake, or what's your greatest weakness? If we had a universal translator, it'd be like, tell me about your greatest weakness, and go, can I trust you? Right? I mean, it would be the most hilarious thing. So rather than go in and ask, like try and answer their questions, focus on answering questions and telling stories that make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And Louise, I see about STAR, and STAR is okay. I've never been a big fan of the T in STAR. Just make it SAR, situation, action, result. You don't need to be tasked with something in order to do it. You're too much of a leader, Louise, right? Stevie's like, what's the STAR method? Okay. Ask questions is okay. Hey, Mitchell Z, you booked a call. Nice job. Right. But rather than ask questions, we want or focus on their questions. We want to focus on the answers that we're going to deliver and the stories that we're going to tell that are going to make them strengthen the belief that they can trust us. And we can't just say you can trust me, because that's telling, not showing. What shows them we can trust them is that we understand them. We're talking about, we want them to, as Chris Voss taught us, we want them to say the words, that's right. If you can get them to say that's right, that's great. Not you're right, that's right. All right, guys, final tactic. Here we go. Offers. 2 things on this. A lot of people go about job searching and they're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want that job, or I don't know if I'm qualified. Here's the opportunity. You don't have to worry if you want a job or you're qualified unless and until you get an offer. Because until that point, you're sort of negotiating with yourselves. And look, it's really human that you would think that. And take all the time and energy that you would spend worrying about whether you want a job or you're qualified, right? They'll have an opinion if you're qualified and you don't even know what you're saying yes or no to until you see the offers. That's why it's not really relevant. Take all that time and energy and instead divert it to making them feel seen, heard, and understood. Divert it to service. Watch the miracles that happen in your job search, right? Don't worry about it till you get it. Apply liberally from a place of service. 100%. All right, guys, you guys have done great today. What a great crowd. Harry R. booked a call. Nice job, Harry R. 4 strategies, 9 tactics. This is how you get hired fast, right? This is how you get hired fast. This is it. You do this, you get hired fast, right? Notice that a lot of you are probably thinking, I haven't heard this before. Yep, I know. Thank you for noticing. This stuff is not Googleable. Most people are out there. I was just on an event earlier today where the guy was like, well, you got to really sell your value during the interview. Stop. My God, stop. Right? Well, you only put so many years experience. No, that stuff doesn't work. It just doesn't. So this is not Googleable. All right. So look, folks, we're going to get to questions here in a second, but I just briefly want to tell you about this program. Okay. So I promise I'll come back to this, Tiffany. Poor Tiffany. I'll tell you about my program. We'll let Tiffany write this stuff down. So I've got a program. It's called Get Hired Fast. Leighton. Yeah, there you go, Leighton. Get hired fast. It helps people get hired really fast. I'm not going to tell you about I'll just say briefly, it's a lot of one-on-one coaching. There's a group, there's an online community, there's a course, we meet 4 days a week. I mean, there's just a hell of a lot of support you get in this thing. And that's why people get hired really fast. I'm personally involved, right? It's not like you never see me. Hey, Deborah, I appreciate that, right? I got to tell my wife that you said that. It makes me blush. Now I'm literally going to blush, right? We've got the receipts here on this. We've got the receipts, right? This program helps a lot of people. So Jessie, right, she was a nonprofit exec. She had been searching for a while and finally got into our program. She got like a couple of offers and then she got hired. Robert was just, hey, Kay, nice seeing you, Kay. You booked a call. Robert was just starting his job search and he didn't want it to go for like multiple months. It didn't. I think he got hired in like 2 months. Wayne had gotten a ton of offers in our program. Hi, Wayne. I miss Wayne, right? Amy Miller was somebody who'd been in a bunch of interviews and got right close to the end a bunch of times and then gotten the no and, got a no. And it was like super soul crushing. Now she's in a job that she really likes. John was like a CEO. And he was looking for fractional opportunities, really, really senior stuff. He wasn't going to be finding opportunities on job boards. And he got hired really fast. Philip was like an early professional. He got 2 offers at once. And there's Angel, right? And so Angel was somebody that came to this workshop just like you, didn't have a lot of extra money to spare, but decided she was going to bet on herself. And guys, we're going to show him the clip of Angel right now. So take a look at this if you would, please. Hey, Jeff N., good job. In the time we've got left, I'm curious, especially if there's somebody we haven't heard from yet. They've had a win, a loss. Angel, I got to ask you, what do we know, if anything? What do we know?
I got the job. Yay!
Whoa!
The offer. I'm moving in a week. Yeah, it's crazy. And I know when we first met, you're like, oh, like, let's get something by your birthday. And my birthday is in 4 days. So I was able to do it. Yay!
And I just want to acknowledge you. Like, you dove in, you did it, you did the work.
Thank you.
Way to go.
It would have been possible without like signing up for this program, truly. I think it made the difference for me.
So good, Angel.
Yeah.
Really happy for you.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Congratulations to you. Yeah. So good. So good. And we had this was in the last 10 days, we have 6 or 7 people get hired and I've got the testimonials rolling out now. They're all really good, all different people, different ages, different industries. It's just so great, right? It's part of the reason I do this. Okay. So look, folks, some of you are like, you're so welcome, Christopher, right? Some of you are like, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to do this on my own. Okay, Karen, I hear you about the cost, right? We're going to do this on my own. And what I tend to find is people who attended this workshop 6 months ago show up and they're like, Eric, it's not working. I'm like, show me what you've been doing. And they've been talking about the drill, right? Instead of the feeling. They've been talking about, here's how I can help you, instead of saying, here's what's possible for you. These little distinctions that make all the difference. And here's the thing that you may not realize is, doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results is costing you, right? Because look, if this is the annual salary you want, Gabrielle, nice job, Gabrielle. We look forward to talking to you. If this is the annual salary you want, here's what it's costing you per month. Here's what it's costing you per week. This is expensive being on the job hunt, right? So, a lot of you are thinking, but Eric, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? If we can get you hired a couple of weeks sooner, you pay for this program and then some, right? Easy, right? And it comes with, we do all the things, right? Whether you're not sure what you want, or you have imposter syndrome and you got a lot of internal stuff going, or maybe you're okay on the inside, although that's pretty rare. It happens. And your resume is terrible, or maybe you don't know how to do follow-up, or you don't know how to find opportunities, or you get 5 million interviews and then you get a big fat no and you're not sure why. We help people with all of this stuff, right? And the guarantee we offer is that, hey, Griselle, we look forward to talking to you, is that 100% of people who join this program get the job. 100%. We stay with you until you get the job, right? Ideally, we get it in 3 months or less, but if that doesn't happen, we stay with you until you do. So 100% of people get placed in this thing, because people always ask me, what's the statistics? I'll tell you the statistic. 100% of people get placed in this program. So some of you are worried about money. So look, guys, I can't give you a single price because it depends how you finance it, how you pay for it, right? People that are on a single call and they book and they're like, hey, I want to do this. That's one price. And we've got a bunch of different payment plans that boil this down to a couple $100s a month, right? Because a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, Eric, can I pay you after I get the job? And I'm not crazy about that because it provides a disincentive for you actually getting the job. So we want you to have some skin in the game. We actually just got a new option that approves just about everybody, right? So even if you're like, oh, my credit's bad, or come talk to us. And the other reason you're going to want to talk to us anyway is because we'll help you unpack what's going on with your job search. Even if you're like, I don't know about that program, it's fine. We'll help you unpack your job search. So you're going to get some coaching anyway. And the purpose of this call, if we think we can help you, we're going to take a stand for that. We're not just going to be like, oh, well, we don't want to talk about. No, we're going to talk about that. So if you're not okay with that, don't book a call. On the other hand, if you're willing to lean into possibility, book a call. Okay. Book a call. So here is we got tons of receipts here. Hey, Leighton, look forward to talking to you, right? So here's the requirements to book a call. 1, you're going to show up. Please don't book a call and then reschedule or let something else less important get in the way of your future, right? Well, I think I'm going to go have coffee with a friend. No, tell the friend to cancel, right? This is more important than that. 2, you're at least open to the idea of investing in yourself. Look, you're trying to get somebody to pay you, be willing to pay somebody else, right, to get results. Okay. And if that's just you literally have no friends, you can't borrow anything, you've got no credit. Okay, I love you. And this may not be the call for you. On the other hand, if you're ready to get hired now, Don just booked a call. Nice job, Don. Book a call and you're going to get some coaching from doing so. Right. So, because even if we think we can help you, we're going to take a stand. But even if, you're really clear that you don't want to bet on yourself and make an investment, we're still going to give you help. So there's the link. A bunch of you have already booked calls. So look forward to meeting you. All right, guys, we have some questions here. And let's see if I like to do this so you see the full width of my gigantic head. Isn't that beautiful? Right? Okay, let's, hey, Tiffany, you just booked a call. Nice job, Tiffany T. Look forward to talking to you. Okay, so who's got a question? Let's put it up on the big board, please. All right. So Jane, but then you ignore ATS and you don't even get to the humans. So Jane, part of the way you're going to get to the humans now is you have a free course. Remember, go to my LinkedIn, follow me, put the word chicken. We'll send you the course. Right. And Reuven's got a good question. Right. So let's make sure we mark that question. And I've got extra time here. So for those of you who have to leave, let me know, or it's okay. I'm gonna stay longer. I don't have anything booked after this, so we have time for Q&A. Isn't that nice? Okay. So you ignore the ATS. So one of the things we do in our program is we help you find the real human. And folks, you're probably not going to want to go after, hey, Jody E, we look forward to talking to you. You're probably not going to want to reach out to the recruiter, because God love recruiters. They are professionally trained ninjas at keeping you away from the hiring manager. In part because if they're removed out of the equation, we don't really need the recruiter anymore, do we? And they don't like that. So they want to be in the middle, right? In the middle. So we just want to circumvent our recruiter friends, right? And here's the other technique. I've got another clip here from a guy named Andrew. We're not going to play it today for the sake of time. But Andrew, actually, you know what? We are going to play it. We are going to play it. We're going to do it right now. I promise I'll come back. So before we play it, notice what Andrew said here. So Andrew got the no. He got a no and he ignored it. He got a no from the recruiter and he circumvented the recruiter and found the hiring manager. And this is what happened. It's really short. We're going to play it now, please.
I got a job offer thanks to Win at Work. I really appreciate all the help and materials and one-on-one coaching. I applied cold to an organization I was interested in and received the automated response, "We're pursuing other candidates." And then there was another posting for the same role or similar role in the same organization. And this time I really used a lot of the Win at Work process. I also really appreciate the coaching I received on interview prep from my coach, Patrick, and the Win at Work materials on interview prep. I feel like I really impressed the HR recruiter. She scheduled me for another interview with program directors a couple days later. They were also really impressed and said I had a lot of good answers, and I really just did what I learned in this program. Make it about them, talk about them, be authentic, and now I have my new job offer.
Hey, Changey, you just booked a call. And I see there, Louise, you're like, Louise is like, I don't like the middle person recruiter. So that's hopefully answers your question, right? Like we circumvent the recruiter friends, right? We love them and we can ignore those automated no's. You're so welcome, Scott. I hope you booked a call, man. Okay. So next question, please. Next question. Okay. So Anastasia, I know in Europe photos are expected on a resume, but what's the view in the US? So hi, Edie. I saw you, like, nice job. You booked a call. So the photos are kind of an interesting thing, right? Because first of all, we don't want to dabble in the business of expectations, right? Expectations can be kind of toxic, right? No expectations. And sometimes employers get nervous because as soon as they see somebody's face, that probably gives them an idea about their age and race and ethnicity. And now if for some reason they don't get a job, they can have a lawsuit on their hands if somebody claims disparate treatment. So probably not in the US photos, probably not. Now, on the other hand, you could put a link to your Facebook page and your Instagram and all those other things so they can actually go to those places and see if you're a live human. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. That's what I'd say about that, Anastasia. Hope that helps you. Okay, next question. Pawn V booked a call. Nice job, Pawn. 2-page resume question. Isn't that only recommendation? Yeah, so I've never seen anybody in the history of the world get hired or not get hired because of the length of their resume, ever. Now, I've seen people not get hired because they've had a long resume that was all about themselves and didn't make the employer feel seen, heard, and understood. I've seen people get not hired from a 1-page resume. So stop worrying about the number of pages in your resume and worry about what's on the number of pages in your resume. Watch miracles unfold is what I would say. Okay, next question. Reuven, how do you calculate that 100% number? I was in a boot camp that promised 80% employment rate, but looking deeper into the numbers, it was only people that did all the requirements. Well, yeah. I mean, so look, we have some people, Reuven, who don't do the work. Like we're like, put together a resume and they're like, yeah, I don't want to. Now, part of the reason we want to do a call with people is we're getting really good at asking people. Like if somebody's not willing to like do the work, we're not going to enroll them in the program. Hey, Toya, right? And there was somebody else right before Toya. We got all these people booking calls. Anthony booked a call. Nice job, Anthony. Right? So look, if Reuven, this is probably not you, right? Now, look, sometimes they can be like ridiculous requirements. Nah, that's not us. Right? We're not going to be like, you have to do this impossible thing. No, we're going to work with you. We're coaches. We're going to stay with you. Everybody has a bad day, right? Like sometimes people, they are like, they get a no and it knocks them off the field for a couple of days and they don't feel like doing their job search. That's 100% okay. Hey, Jorge, we look forward to talking to you, right? That's okay. Like we're coaches. We're going to work with you. We're going to partner with you on this. So this isn't like a trap or a trick, right? As long as you're willing to stay in there, we'll stay in there with you. That's for real. Yeah, for real, by the way. And a lot of times people don't stay in our program that long though, because they get results. Okay. I hope that serves you, Reuven. Okay, let's see here. Next question. So love these. So would you disagree that if you called for an interview, the hiring team knows you can do the job, have the skills, that they're just validating you are somebody they can trust? Well, maybe, but probably what's going to make them feel like they can trust you more is if you understand them, right? So notice on this workshop here, I haven't spent a lot of time talking about my very impressive qualifications and even the number of people that I've helped. All right. I've told you stories about them, but I could give you, I don't know, last year, I think we helped 300-400 people get hired. Oliver C. booked a call, but see, I could talk all about my job and my skills, and you guys would be falling asleep because it's not trust building. So what you're going to want to do is go into an interview and make them feel seen, heard, and understood. Have them in their head say, that's right. That's how you get an interview, ET. And I know you booked a call, so we look forward to talking to you. Oliver C. booked a call. All right, who's next here? How important is your LinkedIn profile to today's job search? So Grizel, and I think I saw you booked a call too, Grizel. So look forward to talking to you. So it's I wouldn't say it's the most important thing, but it's sort of one of those things where they may check it out, and if there's something on there that doesn't feel authentic, that seems inauthentic, that seems like a lie, then it's not great, right? But that's one of the things we help you with in the course, right? We actually, hey, let's give Grizel that free course if we haven't already. Let's give her how to make Grizel's LinkedIn profile awesome. Paula K. booked a call. Look forward to talking to you, Paula, right? And so Grizel, that's a head start for you. So I wouldn't make it like the main thing, but it's good to have. It doesn't hurt for sure. All right, next question. Jessa and Jelly, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you. So Gaia 3, I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. What if the initial interview reveals the salary expectation, there's that pesky word expectation again, is not what aligns with you? Oh, I love this question. Regina P. booked a call. Nice job, Regina. So here's the thing, and I have clients that do this, right? Where they'll go into an interview, or they won't even get to the interview. They won't even apply. If it says, you got to move to Alaska, or we're going to pay you $1, they'll be like, well, I know that's not the job for me. And see, as soon as we know, possibilities close. We can just hear the doors and windows start closing. So if and when a recruiter says, hey, if we paid you $1 or 10 or 100 or whatever it is, how would that be okay with you? Your answer is always, that's possible. That's possible. Sure. Because see, we want to live in possibility. Is there a scenario? Could we come up with a scenario where, they paid us $1 and gave us $3 million in stock options? Will we say yes? Probably. So what we're saying is not a lie, right? What we're doing is we're telling a story. Now, look, when the offer comes, if they want us to pay us $1, that's when they've fallen in love with us and they've already decided they want us. That's where we say, hey, recruiter, you want somebody who can do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. You want somebody who can move to Alaska. How can I do that? And then we let them fill in the blank because now it's their problem. And it's not us versus the recruiter. It's us and the recruiter versus the issues that are preventing you from saying yes. I just had 2 clients last Friday who I gave this coaching to, and they like 6x their investment in the program by the amount of increase they were able to get in their job, in the offer that they got. Now they're reporting for work. So yeah. Okay. Next question. Kimberly T booked a call. Nice job, Kimberly T. Domingo, what about cultural differences with interviews? Yeah. So this goes back to about making people feeling seen, heard, and understood. Sure. Right. Culture matters. Lots of things matter. And at the end of the day, the ability to make others feel seen, heard, and understood crosses cultural barriers. And look, Domingo, I've traveled to over 75 countries and I've lived and worked in a lot of them. I get the cultural thing. I get it. And making other people feel safe is pretty universal. So like, you're going to want to put that in a language and a format that resonates with them for sure. And everybody likes to feel safe. That's not a cultural thing. That's a human thing, I would argue. Lawrence B booked a call. Nice job, Lawrence B. Hope that serves you, Domingo. All right, let's do few more questions. You guys are such a great crowd. Jorge, I saw Jorge booked a call. If I have a business, but I want to get a corporate job in the same field, do I have to let them know that I have a small business? How can I explain it in the interview? So I would put on there the name of your business and your position in the business. The fact that you happen to be the owner, like, that's fine. But, and see, they're not really worried that you're a businessman and like now you're wanting to go to work for somebody. That's not really what hey, Luis B booked a call, right? That's not really what they're worried about. What they're worried about is, can they trust you? So you're going to want to make them feel safe. So I might say something like, yeah, you might see that I've done my own business and you might worry that I'm somebody who's, not wanting to get a W-2 again. Here's a way to think about this that may serve you. And then you talk about their stuff. Notice I didn't say the word I or me once in there, right? And you'll literally see them go like this. because now they feel safe. That's how I would handle it. All right. Good job, Jorge. Next question. I could just keep going, guys. I'll go for at least another 5 or 10 minutes because you guys are all still here. There's even more than 100 of you still here. Okay. How would you suggest handling the concern from the hiring manager being overqualified for the job? It's a great question. So a couple things is, this is a two-way street, right? So if somebody thinks you're underqualified, the card you can play is, well, look, the way to think about this is I'm not overqualified. If Michelle, you tend to be getting into situations where people, either you feel or they feel that you're overqualified. First of all, the opportunity is aim higher, start applying for higher level things. And if somebody says, hey, we're worried you're overqualified, it's a very similar answer to the one I just gave. I think it was Domingo, right? About the business. You say, hey, can really understand you might think I'm overqualified. Here's the way to think about this that might put your mind at ease, right? It's not that I'm overqualified. It's that this is an area I really want to learn in. And I've done all the other stuff. This is new to me, right? Ariel D booked a call. Nice job, Ariel D. Right? This is new to me. Right? It's sort of like age or anything else, or it's not that they think you're overqualified, it's that they don't trust you. And so the way we overcome that or any other objection is we just really strengthen trust. That's how we get hired fast. Hope that serves you, Michelle. Great question. Okay, what other ones do we have? Jessa and Janelle, you guys are crushing. Or Jessa and Jelly, you guys are crushing it. Monica, how do I pass the AI screenings to get an interview? So yeah, I agree. Usually a recruiter's confidence. So first of all, do your best, apply, right? And circumvent that stuff. Find a real human, connect with that real human, make them feel seen, heard, and understood. They will literally knock on the back door of HR and they'll say, Monica, I want to talk to Monica. They'll be like, but we already sent her the automated no. I don't care. I've been waiting on you bastards to get me a candidate for 3 months because I'm drowning in work. Monica gets it. I want to talk to Monica. I hope I'm saying your name right. That's how you do it. Hope that serves. Okay, next question. So many good ones. Ala, should LinkedIn mirror your resume? So I never want to say the word should because we don't want to shit ourselves. Candace M booked a call, right? So it can mirror your one-on resume. That's probably pretty trust building because it lines up. Oh yeah. Ala's resume matches their LinkedIn. Sounds perfect. Like that. That's what I would say. Okay, guys, I'm going to take 2 more questions and I'm going to let you go. You guys have been such a great crowd. Really appreciate you. Okay. That is if Jessa and Jelly have 2 more questions. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. They may not. They're like scrambling for questions. They're like, stop answering questions, Eric. You're so welcome, Monica. Okay, so look. Hey, Sarah T, you booked a call. Really appreciate you. All right, so we'll call it. We'll call it a day here, folks. So look. Jessa and Jelly, you guys are fine. No more questions. It's fine. So look, I just want to acknowledge you for being here. You guys have asked amazing questions. A lot of you have booked calls. Really look forward to unpacking what's going on with your job search. And if we think we can help you, really consider taking advantage of that opportunity. Like I've been doing this for long enough. There was a day where I would sort of like, I think we can help you. No longer. Like we've just helped too many people deal with the same things over and over that have come to this workshop just like you. So look, if you're wanting to do this on your own, it's totally okay. And if you're just wanting to get this handled, like, don't get scared off. Some of you are worried about money probably, or you're worried that this won't work for you or that you should be able to do it on your own. Those are all just reasons. Those are all just like reasons keeping you from reaching your full potential. Hi, Allie and Vicky. I really appreciate you. Right. So book a call with us. Like, let's talk. Right. Hey, I like that, Eileen. Thanks for acknowledging Jessa and Jelly. They really appreciate that. Let's make sure we take care of Eileen with that LinkedIn course, guys. That's really good. All right, guys, I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And I'm cheering for you. And look, there are bright things on the horizon for you. This is a great time to get hired, right? What you don't want to do is sit on your hands and wait on this. And all of a sudden we're looking at like turkey dinner and you've wasted this time. Don't do that. Get help now. This is the time. And just know I'm rooting for you. Lots of love, my friends. Take care of yourself. See you soon.